Television.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big topic.
So many channels, so many hours of the day.
Yeah. Television is different from movies, I guess, to a certain extent, because it's an everyday thing.
Or once a week, looking forward to the show or something like that.
Yeah.
But then there's like 2 shows at least that you want to see every night.
Yeah. And there's like a routine to some of the shows, and they kind of grow into your life, people you're around. It's mostly what you talk about with friends, at least me.
Yeah, I mean, what else you got?
Right. What, are we going to have personalities? Fuck that. Just watch some TV.
Who has any of that? So I guess we're doing another top 10.
We're doing top 10s again.
All right. Any honorables for you?
I think I'm going to save my honorables to the end.
Till the end,
Yes, because I really am excited about my number 10. I just want to go right.
All right.
You want to do honorables? You do your honorables, because I bet most of yours are mine.
Nah. We'll wait till right before 3.
Okay. 3 sounds good. 3's the right number.
But my number 11 show of all time is Smallville.
Smallville. A series
of Superman.
Yeah.
A Superman that couldn't fly, though, which is weird, but...
Yeah, well, they couldn't make him all the way because being a teenage... Well, let me be honest about what I think a teenage Superman would be, because it's not portrayed in that television show, but I do like a lot of the elements of Smallville. I do like the idea of somebody, because a lot of being a teenager is coming into your own power, so a lot of the themes make sense.
Like, it was just, you just had to kind of find the commonality with, like, stuff you're going through with your life. It's all the same stuff he's going through, except for, like, there's witches or Lex Luthor. Or
Lex Luthor's hanging out. Kind of a friend, kind of not.
I guess, I don't know, people that were affected by the meteor rock. I don't know what to call them, because you can't call them mutants, because it's DC.
Yeah. Meteor people? Meteor men?
I'm sure they
had a name for it. But I also watched... I kind of went in and out on Smallville. I don't know why I never stuck to it.
I think I own like the first 6 seasons like on disc.
Yeah. So there are multiple watches for you. You've probably seen a season 2 or 3 times.
I would go with like 2 on average, but like maybe a couple episodes, like 3 and 4.
Yeah. You have your favorites.
Yeah. Like if there's a rerun on, I'm still going to be like, oh.
Yeah, you check back in every now and then.
Every now and then when you see it on like Lifetime. Like what's the... Where they aired like old movies.
Not AMC anymore.
No, not
That's
AMC.
American Movie Classics, but yeah. TMC? Turner Movie Classics? No.
No, it's like... we'll come to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about it and be like, I got it!
You got it. Yeah, Smallville was a good example of that kind of teenager-y thing, which is a good thing because it kind of leads into my number 10.
Oh.
So I did this thing like... show family trees. So one show is kind of is like the grandfather of the show that I'm talking about. So what the 2 shows I'm going to mention as my number 11 is Saved by the Bell, which is the beginning of it, and then Dawson's Creek. That's when it hit me, and it's the teenage drama show, which is...
It's like the CW network. It's like, that's all it is.
It's compelling when you're a teenager. I mean, it's not... it's fun to go back and look at, oh man, that's where I was at mentally and emotionally. But there are certain tropes that in these shows that'll never go away. Like the will they, won't they relationship, Dawson and Joey, or Clark and Lana.
Clark and Lana, Clark and Chloe, Clark and Lois.
Yep. Clark's... Yeah, well, so did Dawson. Dawson tallied some up, too.
Yeah.
But I had, because...
I think those were the only 3 that Clark had.
Well...
I could have missed one somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
He might have, like, kissed one of the meteor people.
Yeah, man, yeah.
So, because television goes into your life like that, I think it's much easier to develop a crush on a character in a television show.
Definitely more so on like the early 90s TV shows, because now everything is released all at once, so it doesn't have that romance.
Yeah.
Like now it's just one night stands, whereas like probably more like our number 1 show, it has that romance still.
Yeah.
Just alluding to it.
Teaser. Yeah, and Joey Potter of all the characters, I mean, if you're a 13-year-old boy, she's the exact right mix of cute, kind of smart, a little bit sexy, but doesn't understand it yet. All of that worked together for me, and I was hooked on Katie Holmes as Joey Porter.
You also had 3 sisters.
I did have 3 sisters, and Dawson's Creek wasn't an option for me. I was watching it. There was no way I could turn the channel on Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
But I also kind of loved it. I watched it religiously just like them, and I think it was all about my one goal as a teenage boy was to find a girlfriend. That's what I wanted. So
every teenage
boy wants that, and these shows are kind of like hey, this is how it's done, even though it's so idealized the high school life. But
it's
you don't know any better when you're 13.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
So that's my number 11 is Dawson's Creek. It had 6 seasons, but you don't want to watch the last 2 college years. Those are terrible. So just watch the first 4.
Bell? Yeah.
Well,
I like the Hawaii one. That was
Hawaii one was good. Sit down.
I guess he wants to go say hi to mommy.
Okay.
He's not going to be a good boy.
Well, why don't you tell us about your number?
Well, I guess I do have to say my number 10 also had 10 seasons. So I probably said
boom boom
10-10. Oh, I guess it was my number 11. Go get mommy.
Go get mommy.
But my number 10
is
The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory. Tell me about it.
On its last and 12th season,
mm-hmm.
It is about the underdog being successful in life.
Yeah.
Like the ugly neighbor, nerdy guy gets the hot girl. Weird, huh?
That happens on TV a lot more than in real life. But
yeah,
continue.
Well,
even the nerdy guy isn't pretty attractive.
He's the cool nerdy guy.
Yeah, he's the coolest version of the nerdy guy.
Yeah, then you have the annoying nerdy guy. Like it popularized being smart.
Right, which needed to be done. Smart wasn't cool for a long, long time.
Because what's Neil Harris when he was a doctor?
Doogie
Howser apparently did not do it.
No,
did not quite do it.
No, but I did watch that show as much as you can. As
not on the list.
Not on the list. Not even an honorable mention.
Yeah, and The Big Bang Theory is just funny.
Yes,
like they make all of the references in life, like the Trekkies, like just comic book stores. Like they make all the references that most people don't get, but they
The show popped in right at the right moment in pop culture because of all the superhero stuff that's going on, and it just found that niche. And it's pretty well written. Some of it is kind of the obvious things to do, but
I guess sometimes
it's a fun show. Not everything can be cutting edge. Some stuff is just fun.
It's just like a sitcom. It's just like your 30-minute show that you check in for while you're making dinner or whatever, and it just makes you laugh. It makes the cooking a little more fun.
It'll live on in syndication forever. It's one
going
of
to
those shows.
Rerun for the end of time.
Yeah, there will always be nerds watching the show.
Oxygen. By the way, Oxygen is the one that...
Oxygen Network, of course.
Yeah,
for Smallville, Oxygen.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. So Big Bang Theory, solid choice.
My number 10, yeah.
Okay, my number 10 is... Again, I'm going family tree with shows because I'm annoying. This is 6 Feet Under into True Blood. So Alan Ball is the creator of both 6 Feet Under and True Blood.
I don't think I've watched 6 Feet Under.
So 6 Feet Under is the story of a family-run mortuary home. And every episode begins with the death of somebody, and then this family helps them through dealing with the loss of their family. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somebody's family comes in every week with a dead person. And you also have all the crap that goes on in a normal family, except they're dealing with death every single day. And the first death, the pilot episode, is the patriarch of the family. So he dies, the sons have to come together.
And take over the business?
Right. And it's a terrifically written show. It was one of the first shows I remember that took like a cinematic look to it. Where it wasn't like your 2-camera, like your Big Bang Theory setup, where they were taking
just looking
time.
at a room.
Yeah,
looking at a room.
Yeah, there was no audience or anything, and the acting in 6 Feet Under was phenomenal. But True Blood, I think, is the better representation of Alan Ball. as a creator.
Oh, watch that one.
True Blood, yeah.
Yeah.
So True Blood does a great job of taking social issues and just putting a little tiny twist on them, a supernatural twist.
Yeah. Just a little.
That makes it
tweak.
Fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it's just the idea of vampires, like weird nuances of our society just being thrown in there like seamlessly. Like, it's just...
Oh, you have... so the obvious metaphor here would be gay culture. So coming out of the coffin is like coming out of the closet. But you also have addiction is involved in this show because vampire blood is the greatest drug in the world. And you have a lot of different layers.
And then it even turns out that vampires can get addicted to fairy blood.
Yes.
Who knew?
Yeah. Everybody can get addicted to something.
And then, what was it, like the second or third season with that one chick that was like a centaur, or not a centaur, but...
Yeah, she's some kind of like...
mythological creature.
Yeah,
the bull.
Yeah.
What's in the labyrinth? A centaur?
Taurus? Yeah, centaur.
Centaur. I believe that's what she is.
Yes.
She makes everyone addicted to her, or I don't know. It's something weird.
Black eyes. That's yeah.
That whole series, that whole season was very strange.
Yeah. Again, this is a good question for us at this point at number 10. Do you hold it against the show if a couple of the seasons at the end were terrible? Should that come into my calculation when I create the list?
I did.
You did.
Like, I set it to where it had to be at least more than 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay.
Which is why Stranger Things did not make my list.
Yeah. Did not make my list too.
But I think if it's on its 4th, 5th, it'd probably be on there.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have enough depth yet to, get there.
Yeah. Well, but we're watching season 3. No doubt about it.
Well, yeah, no. Yeah.
It's just not on the top 10 yet. Yeah.
And then how they do or don't finish it is... I don't know, because even in Smallville, so I guess not, because you fall in love with the first 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I think as long as they wrap it up in the final season okay or good, it makes up for the bad season.
I think, in True Blood, I think you can pick your exit point. I don't think you need it to end when the creator said it ended, because there are 2 seasons in True Blood that should have never been made. If you end it, I think season 4, you've created a great television series.
Where did I check out? I think
there's the season when they go inside the government, or the inside the vampire government.
Oh yeah, that one's just
it's terrible.
And then at the end, Bill becomes like God.
Yeah,
the vampire God
lost me.
Yeah, I think that's about the season right before. But even when the witches are there.
No, I don't mind the witch season. I can handle the witch season.
Well, no, it was I think that was
the last one. That's season 4. I'm done now.
Yeah.
Check out then. You don't need to go through the rest of that.
Don't get me wrong, I still watched them.
Yeah, and it's a long series of books, so it's not like I think they ran out of ideas. I just think at a certain point a story runs its course. Well,
and when you're dealing with vampires that don't age, going on your 10th season, you don't quite look the same anymore.
Yeah. But True Blood has a couple of amazing moments, like when Jessica is given to Bill. So he kills a vampire, so his sentence is to create a vampire. And he takes this Southern Christian-raised gospel girl, turns her into a vampire, then has to raise her. So you get to experience what becoming a vampire is like through her eyes as a Christian, super Christian girl. It's phenomenal. I mean, the writing on the show is great, but that in particular, when they can take you into things like that.
And then this is actually the last season, I think the last episode, maybe the second to last episode, when, what's his name? Jason Stackhouse.
Yep.
Meets his best friend's fiancée, and she's the one that changes him. She's so profound or something.
Yeah.
After she breaks up with...
you need to mention that Jason Stackhouse is a man whore. Jason Stackhouse goes through woman after woman after woman on the show.
He might even go through a woman while still in another woman. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's something missing in his heart, soul, and mind.
Well, you would assume he's half fairy too, so maybe that's his fairy part makes him
maybe he's the opposite of Suki.
Maybe
she loves too much, so she fixates on one person, and he does not. He does the exact opposite.
He just
so
spreads
maybe
that love. Yeah.
Maybe it is a fair thing. They just never said it out loud or whatever.
Jason's one of those characters that's very easy to hate.
Best friends?
Who? Jason?
Jason's best friend that moved to Alaska because he slept with Jessica.
Yeah. I don't know. I know I can see his face right now in my head.
Damn it!
Yeah.
God.
Moving on.
I literally just watched it like a month ago too.
Yeah. I think the Jessica character is amazing. I had a huge adult age crush on Sookie Stackhouse.
Well, no, I had a crush on Jessica.
Yeah, she's pretty good too.
And then in Daredevil too. Sorry, didn't quite make the list.
Yeah.
Not enough seasons.
Yeah. So that's my number 10 is going to be True Blood. Alan Ball, wonderful writer-creator.
How many seasons was that?
True Blood was 7, but only 5 of them, I would say, watch.
It goes in and out like
I finished
6th and 7th.
I kept grinding with it, but on second thought, maybe don't. It's up to you, bud.
And then number 9.
Number 9.
For me, it's been on the air for 30 years.
30?
Almost as long as I've been alive. The Simpsons.
The Simpsons. Okay, so Simpsons is on my list too, but as a part of a tree, so we're going to let it go. Tell me what you loved about The Simpsons.
I think it was Bart.
Yeah.
It was just Bart. He just spoke to me.
We hadn't seen something like that before. I can't think of I guess Dennis the Menace, but Bart took it.
Yeah.
Took it up to that next level.
I was always getting in trouble. He was always getting in trouble.
Yeah. Eat my shorts.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I said that in the course of my life.
Eat my shorts.
Eat my shorts. Yep, there was the Bart Man.
Then it was just like the lazy-go-lucky dad that always seemed to just fall down into the solution.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't find it. It found him when it was just weird.
Say what you want about who the Simpsons are as people, like they're not the idealized American family, but they love the shit out of each other. No matter what happened, that's what they always fell back on.
And they predicted our president.
They did predict our president. They predicted a lot of things. That show was sneaky political.
Mm-hmm.
It was not over the top as the show that I will mention later on, but that show made points when it needed to.
And it was very subtle. So it wasn't like in your face like some other one that might be mentioned later.
A little later on, we'll get to a less subtle version of The Simpsons. My favorite episodes were the Halloween ones. Those were freaking amazing.
Yeah.
What did they call it? Wasn't there a name to it?
There was. It was something different.
Something, yeah.
I think my favorite Halloween one is where, the aliens come and they, it was just funny.
Yeah, they were fattening them up.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
They wanted to eat them.
Yeah. Those were terrific. And, what was it? Something Bob? Sideshow Bob. Run with Kelsey Grammer as Sideshow Bob, where he would come back, once a season.
Mm-hmm.
Those were always terrific.
And then, remember when Homer got the idea that if he got so fat, because he found this rule in his book or whatever, that he could work from home.
Didn't he have
He got a little water dropper thing that would just hit
the yes on the thing. Homer is, yeah. I guess he's the Archie Bunker of our generation, but he had a heart of gold. He was a sweet guy.
Duff.
Donuts. Yeah. Homer will exist forever, too, on syndication. The Simpsons will never go away.
Yeah, they're still
making them. I don't know when the last time I watched a new episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah, I don't even know when I see a new episode. It's just I just haven't seen this one yet.
Yeah.
Because I doubt I've seen all 30 seasons worth, yeah. And your number 9?
My number 9's the opposite of 30 seasons. My number 9 is a 1 season. It's actually a 3-season show, but there's only one that you need to think about.
Uh-huh.
It's the mother and father of all detective shows, True Detective. True Detective Season 1.
You don't think some sort of CIS or Special Victims Unit was the mother?
No. I think this is the best example.
The culmination?
The culmination. Okay. So, Law and Order's daddy and CSI is mommy. But True Detective,
the hit new stepmom,
is the quality example of what a detective show should be.
Only season 1.
Only season 1, yeah. Everything falls apart. True Detective is a philosophy lesson.
So you just like the 1 season, you don't like the show.
Okay.
You don't like 2/3 of it.
Correct. I don't like 2/3 of it. I wish they would have just made...
I feel like that should be an honorable mention.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. My point in making it number 9 was that it's the best version. I like detective shows, and that season is the best version of a detective show. But yes, I probably watched more Law and Order in my life, and I do not like season 2 or season 3 of True Detective. So
I always seem to watch the same Law and Order
all
episode. Like, I've probably seen 10 or 15 episodes, but I've seen those 10 or 15 episodes like 10 times.
Yeah.
Like, every time it's on TV, I'm like, I've seen this, but I don't want to change it. So
yeah, they all bleed together. Like, I'll get 3/4 of the way in and think I haven't seen it before, and then I'll see the clue and be like, oh, it's the wife. God, I just watched 45 minutes and I knew the ending the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Law and Order will do that to you. True Detective will not do that to you. It's a dark-ass show. It's got 2 of the most gritty performances in television history. I'll put it out there. Just like that. McConaughey, Woody Harrelson. Even the cinematography is amazing.
I do like those 2 as actors. They're different.
And together, they did amazing things. This was during the Matthew McConaughey reconnaissance or whatever, Renaissance, when he was coming back and doing Lincoln ads and all that stuff. But this is the best Matthew McConaughey. I'll put White Man Can't Jump as the best Woody Harrelson, but it's number 2.
Woody was pretty good in like the trilogy that just came out. Why can't I think of it?
The Hunger Games stuff?
Hunger Games, yeah. He was pretty good, but he was only like a minor role.
Yeah, he's a side role there. But yeah, so just the cinematography alone, and there's one scene in particular, a shootout scene with McConaughey that is a one-shot tracking shot the whole time, no cuts. That's a real piece of
art.
Yes,
as they will.
Yeah. So that's my number 9. I'm standing by True Detective season 1.
All right, well, go ahead. Number 8.
Number 8. Okay, so moving from a detective show to who I'm going to tell you right now is the best comedy writer in television, and that's Tina Fey. 30 Rock is my number 8. The joke to time ratio in 30 Rock is as tight as any show that you'll see. There's at least 4 or 5 jokes in every scene. You got people throwing fire. Alec Baldwin's great in it. Tracy Morgan's amazing in it. Tina Fey obviously stars in it. It's her first real, I can take the load of I can be the main character in the show.
Yeah.
And she portrayed her character in a more realistic way. She was kind of Murphy Brown a little bit more than like the Jennifer Aniston and Friends, where she was working. She had to work. She didn't have time for a boyfriend. She had to be a bitch to the people that worked under her because they would not listen. She had real people problems, and there was still fun. It was still funny in between all of it.
Yeah, I only saw a few episodes of that, and I haven't. It's on my list to go watch.
Yeah,
I just haven't. Once you put stuff on the list, it's hard to get to the list.
It's weird how that works. 30 Rock's worth it. It's one of those I think it'll be syndicated forever. Like I said, the writing is probably as tight as any show on television. 30 Rock, check it out. Love it.
Well, it's on my list.
Okay.
It's on my list.
Fair enough. What do you got for 8?
It's infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only so low on my list because it's so infuriating on the very last episode.
Okay.
It's Lost.
Lost. Fucking Lost.
Why it's on my list is because you had to watch the next episode.
All right. That's true, but they shit on your face. That's what
they
happened.
do. But it was good storylines. It was good suspense.
Acting was good,
and it kept you so intrigued. It was like the first show everyone talked about.
Okay.
Like they were talking about the next episode before it came out.
I agree.
And it was just I guess it was the game changer of like TV series.
Drawing you in.
Yeah. Of like, oh, this works.
Like, and like fan theories. That's when fan theories really started, where you had to go on the internet to read about fan theories. The thing about Lost for me...
You got lost.
Yeah. Lost is a con man. Lost tricked me. Lost told me it was going to have an answer, and it never intended. Not even once.
No. Even when they promised to have answers in the final season, I think I have more questions from the final season alone than all the other seasons combined.
I think Lost is like a college class now that they teach, where they say you can't write a TV show unless you know you have a direction to go in, because every season is another elaboration of nothing.
And what is from Star Trek, those situations that are unwinnable?
The Kiyamatsu. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Like,
that's what Lost is. There's no answers. No. There's no right, wrong, whatever. You just... It's just... You can't win.
No.
You can't win.
Don't care about these characters because there's no closure. There's no nothing. I don't know if they're real. Did I watch the show? I don't know.
But maybe that's what makes the show so amazing. Because there's no answer still. And they don't even... It's not running anymore.
Let me tell you this. If the show ended with J.J. Abrams waking up and saying, I just had the weirdest dream, I would have liked that more than the way they ended the show. I'm 100% against Lost. We'll go to my grave hating that show.
Yeah, but you still watched it.
Because I loved it, so now I hate it.
Yeah.
Lost. All right. I got to clean that out of my mouth. Lost. Well, you do 7.
7 is... Oh, by the way, Lost is season 6. So if you still have questions by season 6, you're not getting them.
No, don't watch.
You're not getting the answers. Whereas my next one is... I think the first time I saw this point of view in a TV series from the bad guy / good guy. Like, I was never before rooting for the bad guy to beat the good guy, like in Dexter.
Yes.
Because he is the bad guy.
He is.
The cops that he's hiding from are the good guys.
Right.
And when I wanted the cop that was onto him, now I can't even think of the cop's name, and I don't want to describe him.
You guys understand. Let me look it up.
Anyways, like, I never once wanted the good guy to die so much. There's something off about you, Dexter.
Yes. Alright, let's see. Cast.
You knew he was a serial killer in the very beginning, yet he was chasing a serial killer.
Yes.
And that was the only...
He was trying to...
And that was the only season with a mystery.
So I think it's Angel Batista.
Angel Batista is...
the character's
name. The character's... No.
No?
It is Eric King, James Dokes.
That's it. James
Dokes. Never wanted Dokes to die so much in my life. A good guy.
Yep. Perfectly fine police officer. Yeah, there was a whole string of these kind of bad guy shows, but Dexter's the best version of it. Like, you have The Shield, and now I can't think of any other than The Shield.
There's Hannibal. There's Hannibal Rising, but don't watch that one. Yeah. It's not very good. But I hear the new one, like I said last week, was pretty good. It's on my list.
Yeah, on the list. We know where that goes.
We know how far we get down the list.
And as a show, Dexter had a really... I don't know if it's the actor. There was something really weird and fresh about what
he did with the character.
Yeah.
It just made you believe it.
Yeah. We were kind of into a serial killer, like, it was kind of getting boring. It was being overdone. And this guy kind of opens a whole new way of doing the serial killer.
Yeah, from their point of view.
Yeah.
It was
incredible.
It was refreshing.
Yeah.
In a weird, sadistic way, but... And, like, you knew everything that was going on. There was mystery without mystery, because you knew he was going to kill someone.
Yeah.
You knew who he was going to kill and what they were doing bad.
Right.
It was just the weird circumstances that happened in between that were...
You start rooting for him not to get caught, like you said. That's a weird thing to want. But, yeah, you do that.
The bad guy, no, you're the winner. And I liked the way they ended it. Like, he made the sacrifice to give up his kids, and he rode off into the storm to fake his own death, and now he continues as...
Maybe they ended it. Like, there could be more. I know
there definitely could be if they...
Yeah.
There could definitely be a rerun.
It might be in the works. So, from Dexter, which is a pretty good segue to my number 7, which is, again, I'm doing family trees. So, X-Files, I've talked about before on this show. Maybe more than I should have. X-Files goes into Fringe. They're kind of the same idea of a show. I prefer X-Files just because it got me first. But Fringe is just as good. I don't know if you've seen any Fringe.
Is that where they...
So it's there's a parallel universe.
Yeah. I think I started watching it, and then I kind of just...
If you missed an episode of that show, it was hard to find your way back in. Like, I think that's a better DVD or binge show.
Because next time it's on Netflix or Hulu, just check it out.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
But X-Files is the kind of the beginning of this kind of show. And I've already mentioned that it makes you think government's lying to you, always. Never trust the government.
And they were in the government.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
And they got lied to.
You have the two kinds of scientists. You have the one who's dying to know the truth and the one who's skeptical about everything they see. Mm-hmm. And I still have those little voices in my head all the time. Mulder and Scully are arguing in my head constantly. And both shows do a good job of showing you that the world is weirder than science even can explain it as being. There are things that don't fit into any model that we've currently have.
No? Yeah.
Yeah. There's just stuff that doesn't make sense. And that's probably always going to be the case. I hate to think of a world where it wasn't, where we were just done with science. We're just done. We finished.
There's always
book over.
Some new thing that's going to need to be discovered.
Anybody who takes likes to be derogatory about aliens or any of these things on the edges, the peripheries, we don't really know a lot of this stuff.
Which is why you can just
make a show.
Go forth and make a show.
And the most important thing about this show is the idea that the people who control the truth control everything. The people who are in charge of the story that the public accepts as the truth control everything about the world. That's the case now. It's the case in the show. It's the case in the real world. The importance of that, finding your own truth, that's why I love X-Files and Fringe.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so that was 7. I guess I'll go to my 6.
Yeah. Number 6.
My number 6. So again, sticking with the idea of show families,
come on.
I have Curb Your Enthusiasm and Sunny in Philadelphia as all being a part of my number 6 show, Seinfeld. This is the idea that the inner world of the human being is a disgusting, horrible... we're always trying to game each other. We're always trying to get the advantage. Like, George Costanza is an exaggeration, but he exists, like 10% of him, inside every single person.
Yeah. Like, each character is just like a different portion of someone.
Right. So I don't think you would want to be any of those people, but you kind of get where all of those people are coming from. So I think Sunny... Have you ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia? So I think they do the best job of showing that you take a little bit of a problem and then it slowly exaggerates itself. So now you've got Dennis...
It's like the rock into the lake. Just the ripples get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, bigger and bigger. The flaws in humanity exaggerate themselves on and on and on. Seinfeld was the first one to have this kind of show. The idea that you didn't have to like the characters all the time. Before sitcoms, we're talking about Friends. We're talking about shows where the idea was we're going to get together and have a great time and talk and whatever. Cheers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think in all of those, you liked all the characters pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas in Seinfeld, like, there are certain points where I think I hated every single character.
Well, they all do horrible things to each other, to the rest of the world. But at the end of the show, you know that next week all 4 of them are going to be together again, screwing each other over. Same with Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I guess How I Met Your Mother is kind of similar.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. But
they're always going to be in that bar at that table drinking beer together.
This is the exaggerated id of humanity. And it didn't get expressed until Seinfeld. At least on TV.
Seinfeld's probably the godfather of, like...
That kind of... Not bad people, but yeah. Flawed heroes. Flawed
characters.
Right. They're a gang, they're a family.
I guess overly flawed?
Yes. Exaggeration in the flaws. That's... You know what? Most fun in those shows is watching it blow up in their face. I have a lot of fun doing that. And I also like to say, well, I'm pretty bad, but...
I was in the pool!
Yeah.
I was in the pool!
Shrinkage. They don't know about shrinkage?
No soup for you!
There's a lot of classic Seinfeld. Yeah.
A lot of one-liners came from Seinfeld.
Yes. That was another show everybody watched every week. No, I'm at least in my world.
In your world of three sisters and dad and mom?
Yeah. Well, I was in high school for Seinfeld, so I had the friend group. And that was the show that... When we were talking about what was the funniest show, that was it. Or my number 2 show, but we'll save that for number 2.
Yeah, but one was on every night of the week, one was on once a week. And
so that was my 6.
And my number 6 is Sons of Anarchy.
Ooh, Sons of Anarchy. Okay.
Just bad boy.
Yeah.
Just people doing whatever the fuck they want. It was just like a Wild Western, but today.
That's so good that you made the Western point. That's exactly what it is. It's the Wild West.
Yeah, and they're in California, so it's not like it's so it's crazy. Like Raider Town is only like a couple miles down the road.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like in the desert, you just do whatever the fuck you want.
Living outside the law. That's always interesting, and that's not a world I'd ever been invited to. It was interesting.
Well, you've probably been invited. You just didn't pick up the cues.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
That's a part of America that exists. It's a real thing. It's exaggerated in the show, but
you got like the father figure, like
it's always
down on like the son. What it's like a giant family.
Yeah, it's a family drama. The show is, but badasses. A family drama full of badasses.
Enjoy it with your girlfriend, wife, because there's a love story, love interest.
Yeah. It's got a little...
And then they're smuggling guns into the country and they're shooting people they're shooting people's wives in the back of a truck just so he would shut up.
Yeah.
It's just... That's insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
When they killed... I can't think of his name now.
I only saw maybe 6 episodes of this.
Well, when Teague came up behind the wife in the truck because she drove his truck home and then he just sprayed the back of the truck, killed her.
Yeah.
It was just like, what the fuck am I watching?
And then
this is awesome.
Yeah. There's nothing like a badass show like that to pull you out of the Big Bang rut. So you know what's going to happen in the Big Bang Theory. But when something like that happens to you, like a slap across the face, that's a fun moment.
It's like his dad ordered the hit on himself.
The number 1 show is famous for those moments.
Yeah.
But the number 1 show
later. Yeah. So Sons of Anarchy is just it just gets you going. There's no real mystery. It's just good drama. Good, solid drama that gets... It's pretty exaggerated.
Yeah.
With crime.
Yeah. And it's pretty people, too. That's part of it.
Yeah. Well, that helps.
The sexy. Yeah.
Just imagine, some of these shows just being on, HBO or Showtime. How much better they would get to be.
Yeah. X-Files on HBO. What?
Way better.
What? We should make that show tomorrow.
I'll give them a call.
Okay, you do that. That was your 5?
That was my 5.
Okay. My 5 is going to get a little bit of flack from you. So my number 5 is the PBS documentary series called Frontline.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, okay. So Frontline...
Not even heard.
Yeah.
Is that when I put on my dog, for tease and flick?
Not exactly. Although they may be connected. I'll have to look into that. No, Frontline...
Fleas and ticks, not tease and I don't know what I said.
It's like an hour and a half long deep dive into any of the topics that are going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do that's interesting is they do it from the person's perspective. So they frame the issue in a person's life.
Uh-huh.
So it gives you these things that are happening to people, and it's easy to, from the couch watching Sean Hannity, say, well, this is about this idea and this idea and this idea. But if you don't see the mom and the kid who's got in the chain fence, when you don't see the results of those ideas being played out on a personal level, it's easy to lose the context that this is happening in humanity.
Well, it's easy to not understand how things are really in the world. Like Syria right now.
Okay.
The average American can't even fathom what's going on.
No.
So they're like, that's not possible. Like, so they don't care. Well, it's not that they don't care. They just...
When you see a family in Syria, which is what Frontline would do, they would say, okay, this bombing happened on this day, and then they would show you a bunch of versions, bunch of perspectives on that, whatever it is.
And then you would know the scope of that bombing.
Exactly. So it's not every week. They make them sporadically through the year whenever they get a topic and they want to make the film. It's a bunch of different filmmakers too.
Mm-hmm.
So the Frontline brand is about journalism. It's not about art or anything else. And it's the best version of a deep dive news thing. And it stays pretty current. So you can kind of, if you just watch that, you can kind of have a pretty good idea of the biggest topics that are going on. In particular, the 2008 financial crisis, Frontline's the only way I understood anything that was happening.
Not even from the two movies that came out?
Those were later, but even then, I needed to go back and check the Frontline. The Frontline on the 2008 mortgage crisis, even now, if you watch it now, it'll make more sense to you.
Because what is it, Big Short and, what's...
The Big Short's the one that matters.
Well, yeah, but the other one still explained it, just not as in detail.
Yeah.
I can't think of it,
Well, there's at the end of the... You're talking about the Will Ferrell movie, right? With Mark Wahlberg, where at the end of it, the credits roll? The cop movie?
No.
No, you're not thinking of that.
I'm thinking about, of the financial crisis, there's two.
Oh.
There's Big Short, and then there's the one that's literally about it. Now I can't think of it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Big Short is a good movie, though. You should watch it. It's a good book, but movie's different than the book.
Looking it up so we can fact check as we watch,
As you're looking it up, I will tell you there are 37 seasons.
That's a lot of watching.
Series. Yeah. And the whole library is online. It's free, obviously. PBS is free. And you can look at stuff that was going on in 1993, or you can check out what was happening last week. It's one of those resources I think more people need to know about. So please check out PBS Frontline. Solid news and entertainment. That was my number 5. My number 4 is fun. So I've done the serious political service announcement portion of this. Now's the fun time. My number 4 show is The Chappelle Show.
It almost went on my list.
Almost got on your list. So I've said Tina Fey's the best comedy writer. Dave Chappelle's the best stand-up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And The Chappelle Show is the only thing that he's done in terms of movies or TV that's even kind of captured just that razor-sharp wit thing that he's got. If you don't know, The Chappelle Show is a sketch show, and you should know about it because it's fucking amazing.
It's hilarious.
It's amazing. Just a couple of the moments here. Charlie Murphy, True Hollywood Stories, the Rick James line gets yelled at a lot. Especially at the time.
I'm Rick James, bitch!
Yeah, you heard that everywhere you went. Every bar in America had a, I'm Rick James, bitch!
No sex in the champagne room.
Yeah.
No sex in the champagne room.
You also have the Wayne Brady episode. That one is incredible. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to slap a bitch? One of the best lines in television history. You have the white collar justice system. That's where he goes, 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, and the white collar criminals getting arrested by gunpoint, the dogs and the cops grabbing his wife's boob. Just the way that the Chappelle Show just, now I'm not holding nothing back. I'm coming out swinging.
He did not give a fuck.
The race draft.
Could that be on TV today?
Well, Key and Peele did do it for a while, and they were almost on the same level as him. I don't think Key and Peele are... Kitty. You like Key and Peele? Well, they're not as good as Chappelle. But no, I don't think they could. And I think one of the reasons why he quit his show is because they stopped allowing him to make the kind of show he wanted to make. So now he just makes the greatest stand-up in the world. If you haven't seen his Netflix stuff, see it now. Stop listening to this podcast and go watch Dave Chappelle. Best stand-up.
And then come back to
in the world. And then come back because we've got some good stuff coming. Chappelle Show is my number 4.
Oh. Well, going back to what we were talking about, it's The Big Short, not The Big whatever, but it's Too Big to Fail. Is the one that was
to fail. Okay.
Very specific about like events that happen very directly.
Yeah.
That's the more informational one.
There you go.
And more entertaining probably than the PBS.
There you go, Internet.
Google finds all. And then mine is a show about, I guess, kind of like the American Dream.
Okay.
Kind of. It's very similar to Scarface.
Okay.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. I knew this was coming up.
It's
another
great
anti-hero.
show.
Yeah, another anti-hero.
Or is he the hero? Like, it's weird.
Well, he becomes a lot different than he starts the show as.
Yeah.
By the end of it, he's a villain.
He should have just killed...
He likes...
What the fuck is... I hate the character so much.
Yeah.
Now, if he just died, the show would have been... Well, it wouldn't have been a show, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, you have the one spinoff, Better Call Saul, which I never got in. I could never get in.
I watched a couple episodes of it, and it's just not as good.
Yeah.
It's just not enough criminality.
Just the concept of the show. Let's talk about that. I'm a science teacher. I now am diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer. Can't afford treatment. My family is not doing well, not doing great.
And if I die, they're going to do horribly.
A lot worse. I know what I'll do. I'll use my science education to make meth.
But there was like his brother-in-law or something, his brother-in-law said something about it and like how much money they collected, and he was just like, I can make that shit.
Yeah. And
I'm smart.
Does.
Well, and to be fair, he's not just a science teacher. He, I guess, was a third partner in like a startup company.
Right.
Like he's more than just a science teacher.
Yeah,
he's a very brilliant scientist that got the shaft from his company.
Yeah, derailed.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And then became a teacher.
Yeah.
Because, well, if you know stuff, you can teach it.
What do you think the show says about the American dream?
Make money at any cost.
Make money at any cost. Money's power.
It is. That's what a good portion of the country thinks the American dream is.
And we should also mention Bryan Cranston. Phenomenal. Just his performance in that show. Even Malcolm in the Middle. I'm a Bryan Cranston fan.
Yeah. Like, I don't know... Well, not that you've seen it, but Godzilla. I think is my least favorite performance of him.
Yeah.
But he just seemed like Anakin in that movie, which is... I don't like whiny bitches, apparently.
Yeah. Well, who likes a whiny bitch?
I don't know.
Nobody.
Padme?
Yeah. Well, Bryan Cranston's not a whiny bitch in Breaking Bad.
Isn't he, though? I feel like in the first 2 seasons, he's a pretty... But it's not to the point to where it's unlikable.
Well, he breaks. Doesn't that happen to him?
Yeah. He just
snaps.
Yeah, this is just a great show.
It is a great show. It's one of those psychological things where you can't wait to see what the fuck this guy's going to do next.
Yeah. Or what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
Or what stupid, silly situation he's going to have to try to get out of. Like, who the fuck makes explosives that looks like crack?
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
He does.
He does. And I'm going to wait and find out what happens. Yeah. That was a phenomenal show.
I sure am.
AMC. AMC, one of the best shows that they created and kind of helped launch their thing with Mad Men.
It's one of those things like I'm glad they ended it the way they did, but I feel like it could have.
They could have forced out 2 more seasons. I think this was the right choice.
Well, I think they could have at least squeezed out one more good one.
Yeah.
A good, solid one. 2 or 3 more, probably pushing it, but they could have got a solid extra season out.
I think Walter White ending there was perfect.
No, it was good, but I just, like, shows like that, you just want more.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what?
You don't want the right end.
Yeah, like,
which is very similar to our number 1 show. That would be the second tease for the number 1 show, but we're not there yet.
We're not there.
That was your 3?
That was my 5.
5?
Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5.
I think I've gone a lot further than you. I've got. All right, then go. That was my 4. Chappelle Show was 4.
Well, I guess technically it's the 5th one.
Okay.
Because we started at 11.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, just zip, go.
Well, it's in the top 3.
Yep.
So, I guess I'll start with an honorable mention.
Okay, do an honorable mention. Time for this.
We talked about it earlier, but Stranger Things.
Yes.
It is an honorable mention because the first 2 seasons are fantastic.
Fantastic.
Acting's really good. The story writing is out there.
Yep.
It is. It's fresh. It's new. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It makes you think about,
I always describe Stranger Things.
Kind of like X-Men. I mean, not X-Men, but X-Files. Like, you can't explain it because you can't prove that it's not real or fake. So it just makes your imagination run.
I think Stranger Things, especially season 1, is like the 3 best kind of movies in the 80s combined together. So you have the kids with the alien, which is so that's E.T. You have that series. Then you have the teenagers with the demon. That would be your Nightmare on Elm Street, something along those lines. And then you have the mom.
Goonies.
Yeah. Then you have the mom trying to find her son, which is Poltergeist. You have all 3 of those things combined into one series. I watched it all in two nights, I think. I was totally hooked.
I think I watched them all back to back to back.
Just one sitting.
Yeah, I don't think I ate other than Doritos from a bag on the couch.
Yeah.
Or something similar, Mountain Dew. Yeah, she just...
It was in the performances again. Winona Ryder's great in it. The cop is amazing. I wish I knew that actor's name.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's terrific.
And the kids do a fantastic job.
It's not always easy.
Which is strange coming from kids. Like, sometimes there's times where oh, well, he's a kid, so it's fine. But it's just...
Yeah, 11 is an amazing little actress, I think. Probably the key to the whole show. Making the whole show, you need a solid 11.
You do indeed. You need an 11. And hopefully she's good in the Godzilla King of the Titans. Not that you'll know anything about that.
I won't watch that now. Maybe I will. Probably not, though. But I might.
Put it on your list. Put it on your list.
It'll be on the list.
One of your honorable mentions.
Okay. We're doing AMC, so that's your Breaking Bad, that's your Mad Men, and that's your Walking Dead. It is an honorable mention. Is it on your list?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, so we'll skip it, and we'll go to my next honorable mention, which is a game show called
Jeopardy?
Survivor.
Oh. It was on my top 25 list, but I had to make cuts, so I did not put it on the honorables because it was not low enough on the charts.
Okay. But a lot of seasons of Survivor, but
I love the concept of Survivor.
Yes.
It is probably the only real reality show that I can actually believe isn't scripted.
Yeah. Well, the design of the show is great. We're taking a bunch of people that don't know each other.
Survive together.
Yeah. We're going to make you do these crazy challenges. You're not going to eat. You're going to be out in the weather. You're going to start hating everybody.
Yeah. And then the weird part is the people that do really well are very good for the tribe in the beginning.
Yes.
Get cut because they're the good ones.
You're a threat now. Yeah.
It's crazy how
brilliant.
The beginning sets up the second half. It's not half because it's more like the second 2/3. So the last third of the show, like everyone that showed that they were good in the beginning now is just getting chopped.
Yeah. Survivor, for those who don't know, I don't know how you've lived this long not knowing what Survivor is, but it's a game show where you take, I think it's
like 20 people.
Yeah, and you put them on an island together. They're split into teams at first, but the idea is every week one person gets eliminated by vote. Everybody votes for who's going to be eliminated. But at the end of the show, they take the 12 or some number.
It's not all of them. It's like the last so many.
Yeah, the last 12.
That become like
a jury. And those people who have been voted out by everybody who's still in the game.
Or maybe it is everyone that gets voted out.
No, it's only a certain number. Like, I think you have to make the jury.
I think it's like the final 12.
Yeah, final 12. I think that's it. It might be less.
Probably 9. It's probably an odd number, but
9 makes sense, yeah.
9 or 11.
It doesn't matter. So then those people now vote for who gets $1 million. So you have 2 or 3 people left at the end. They were involved in voting out every single person who was on the jury. Now the jury gets to pick who
so
gets
the people you backstabbed come back to haunt you, which is my favorite character of Survivor. I forget his name because I didn't know I was talking about him. He's like a short, fat, sneaky Russell. Russell is my favorite character.
Yeah.
He found all the idols.
Yes, he did.
He made all the plans. He made all the backstabs.
Never won.
Never won, but always made it second place.
Yeah.
I think every time he was on the show, second place.
Nobody gives him shit. That's the Survivor villain is a trope now. That's the thing that you can do to try and get into the final 3 because they think that you won't get voted. So you can be the villain or the tag along, which is somebody who's done nothing in the game. Is there mostly to be annoying.
Which usually are the ones that win because the villain, well, no one likes him.
No one's going to vote for that person. They've just engineered the death of 12 people or 9 people.
Which are now voting against you.
Yeah. Survivor's a great concept for a game show.
I'm waiting, not that I watch it much anymore, but I always waited for the guy that tried to manipulate someone else to be the villain. That, like, he was like the mastermind, but he wasn't the one actually doing the villainy.
Yeah. Taking credit for stuff in Survivor is weird, too. Where you say, I orchestrated that blindside. Well, no. And also, that guy's now not voting for you because you just announced a blindside.
Yeah. The concept of that show is amazing.
It's terrific. And here's my up the ante. Celebrity Survivor. Why don't we get some of these B celebrities, put them on an island together.
Or even just like past celebrities like Jerry Jones was on.
Just stuff
Jerry
like
Jones,
that.
But like
Tom Cruise isn't going to do the show. But we can
Brad Pitt's not going to do the show.
Yeah, we can find people, and I think if we have a little bit of their backstory going in, it'll be even more compelling to see what happens when they...
That's a show I'd probably still do today.
Yeah.
Like if they
asked you to compete?
I'd be like, I'm gone.
Okay, so if they say you're competing in Survivor in 2 weeks, what do you do in your 2 weeks to prepare?
Well, nothing. You just...
No, you gotta learn how to make fire. You gotta
know how to do that.
You gotta swim.
I already know how to do it. I can swim. I can make
You're
fire.
Survivor ready right now. Is that what you're telling me?
Let me go put me on
Because don't you know it, Dustin? Jeff Probst is stuff. I would like to see you on Survivor. I think you would do well.
Until the end.
Until the end. Well, people like you.
I'm likable.
Yeah, you're a likable guy. I wouldn't...
I can do the physical challenges rather well. I'm very athletic.
But that's not always a good thing.
No.
They'll see you as a threat.
It's good in the beginning. Like, I'm not going to get voted out in the first half. Guaranteed.
Yeah. How would you do with not eating? Do they get a cup of rice or something a day?
Oh, I'm fine. Like, I intermittent fast. Like, I'm used to being hungry for like a few hours a day. More than other people.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be hungry a little bit every day.
Yeah, so like, the being hungry part isn't the worst part, but typically they they give you enough stuff to survive even if you're a shithead.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not going to let you starve. I agree with that.
Like, because one season, like, one team couldn't find fire, so like, they kept making it a prize. But they kept losing.
Yeah.
And they ended up just giving it to them anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think after a while they got to drink water, got to boil the water.
Yeah. It's just, well, if you don't survive, like, you just got to go home, right? So it's just, well, we used to have 2 tribes, but now we only got 1.
Yeah.
Shortest season ever.
Survivor is a great show. An important show that's like Survivor, that's on my list here, is The Real World. The Real World, the first few seasons, I'm not talking about when everybody got drunk and started having sex all the time, but The Real World created reality TV. It didn't exist before The Real World. The idea of getting all of these kids together and making them live together, the first few seasons of The Real World is a sociological experiment.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. When it first came out, it was...
Yeah. I mean, eventually,
and
they go to Vegas, and everyone's having sex and drinking.
And I think there was, like, the one in Hawaii, which was, like, season 8 or something like that. Like,
it becomes the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's what they turn The Real World into. But at the beginning...
And eventually, it's called it Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing, except for they just took people from Jersey, and it was...
Yeah. If you're looking at television history, The Real World is an important milestone. It creates an entire genre.
Yeah. And it changed MTV,
yes.
or music television.
It did.
To do
culture. They do culture now. They don't
play music.
No, they don't. They don't do music at all. But
they used to play it in the morning, like 3 a.m. ish, but now I think it's just Teen Mom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, even when I was in high school, I didn't look to MTV for music because all that was on MTV was like Backstreet Boys and all that nonsense. I mean, they had some like hip hop shows and stuff, but nothing on MTV was speaking to me as a high schooler. True. But Real World did. I watched The Real World, and when they did the challenge, they started doing challenges and stuff where they would make the cast members.
And then like Road Rules came out. And then,
yeah,
I think I was more into Road Rules than Real World.
The idea of traveling around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds way better in a little camper.
And they would do challenges and stuff just like Survivor challenges, kind of.
It's more like The Amazing Race, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like with 20-year-olds.
20-year-old high school or college kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On their summer vacation being like, yeah, I'll go on the show.
And there was always like the hot girl and the kind of hot girl and the also kind of hot girl, and then there were 3 different looking guys. Like they always tried to balance it so like it was like a boy band. Everybody could find something they liked.
Yeah, there's got to be every color of the rainbow.
And the Real World hookups were also big for me. Watching like I said, I was watching for Joey Potter. I'm definitely looking for the Real World hookups to see how these guys are managing this shit.
Like, how do you do this?
Yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure if I stuck a girl in the same room with you for 18 hours of the day, I'm sure something might happen.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Well, as long as you... Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, maybe not.
Never mind.
Moving on that one.
Another honorable mention
give me an honorable mention.
I'm going to just name my favorite of all of the spin-offs.
Okay.
But it's Star Trek Voyager.
Yes.
But the whole universe as a whole, probably just... Everyone's seen an episode. Some people have seen more than just one episode.
Yeah.
There's even cults about Star Trekkies.
Yeah, I think they invented the convention, the idea of a convention. Now we have Comic-Con and all this stuff. Star Trek. It's a Star Trek convention.
Yeah. Oh, was it Star Trek or was it Star Wars? It was one of the two.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I don't know which one. But
Neither do I.
It was one of the two, but it's probably Star Trek.
Yeah. I was totally absorbed. I was a Next Generation guy. That was when I was in that zone.
Well, no, like I watched it all the time, but it didn't quite seem like, I think because I was younger.
Yeah.
So when I got older, Voyager was on.
7 of 9. There's a lot of really interesting things about Voyager. She's a female captain. First time we had that.
Mm-hmm.
What else am I thinking? They had a Vulcan, didn't they? Science officer. First officer. Yes.
No. The first officer was the
7 of 9. No.
It was the Indian guy that was like the renegade, whatever.
Yeah. His loyalty kept getting questioned. That's all I remember about him.
Well, he was a rebel,
right?
Up until they got shut off.
Yeah.
But he was a science officer. I think the Vulcan's always a science officer.
Yeah, that would make sense. You wouldn't want them in charge of, I don't know, emotions.
The counselor?
Yeah. Star Trek The Next Generation also has Beverly Crusher. And what was her son? God, I wish I remember his name.
No.
Wesley.
Big
Bang
Crusher
Theory was who... Yeah, Big Bang Theory. Wesley Crusher was who I wanted to be.
He was like the cool hip kid.
Yeah, he was on a starship.
Starship.
I think he was flying the thing?
I think at some point, no, he became... Yeah.
Yeah.
He became an ensign.
Yeah, I'll fly the thing. Yeah, put me in charge. Picard. And Picard and Riker, that's a solid 1-2. I don't think there's a better 1-2. Maybe Kirk and Spock, but it's close.
But like the TV show from like the original TV show, like just, it's too gimmicky. It's too gimmicky.
Yeah, it's campy. But that's how they made TV in the 70s. Look at Lost in Space. All those shows are like that.
Yeah.
Next Generation is the right lane for Star Trek, and I think Voyager is probably elevated it.
I think it was just like more in the future, like not the future of that, but
Wasn't the idea they got tossed off?
Well, yeah, like there was some being that was trying, like I guess its mate or something was dying, so like it was sending a whole bunch of random people in there to do. I forget. Like this is like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But like there was a being that was transporting random ships from all over the galaxy or galaxies, since they were in a different galaxy.
Yeah.
And they had to find their way back home.
Yeah, they were trying to find their way home. Is what I remember from.
I guess they knew where they were going. They just had to get there, which
was uncharted space.
Yes.
Which was a crazy, interesting idea.
And then who knew? It was just on the other side of Deep Space Nine where they would have came out at. Who knew?
Who knew? Deep Space Nine, I never got into.
I still watched like almost every episode.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen every episode. If not, like maybe missed one or two.
Yeah.
But like it just, I don't.
Good science fiction it's got something.
Just your imagination just goes.
Yeah. It expands your world. That's probably what it is. You start to think of things in a different way. Star Trek's a good world to want to become, too. The idea of explorers and all of human civilization is working towards the goal of federation. Yeah.
Finding better technology, life. Like what? Like
There's
you run into the Borg, and then you're just screwed.
Yeah. Well, there's always enemies to progress.
The Klingons, the Romulans.
Romulans are big.
There's even the shapeshifters that are.
Remember Q?
Q
is like a all-powerful being who would just come around and fuck with them. Just fuck with them.
Because he got bored.
Yeah, he would get bored and fuck with them every now and then. And I think he's the reason they met the Borg.
Yep, he is.
I think I am. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm right about that.
And he is.
The Borg, maybe one of the best villains in TV history. Maybe the best. In terms of freak you out as a teenage kid or as a kid, seeing the Borg freaks you out. They're half robotic, half face.
And it's not even like they're trying to look good half robot. Like, they are cosmetically ugly.
Even the idea of one brain controlling or a hive mind.
It kind of reminds me of Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Kind of. But
kind of.
But more cybernetic instead of freakish. But kind of just same pale skin. Like, just. Ugh.
I am not Picard.
Then I have
Locutus of the Borg.
But I thought they were all just one collective, so how do you have individual... Whatever.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
Yeah. But I guess the queen was trying to find a king, whatever, so... Because I guess she was getting bored.
She wanted somebody who could think for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Got one more honorable mention.
Okay,
Heroes.
Heroes! I had forgotten about Heroes. I was into Heroes.
They tried to revamp it with, like... what is it? Heroes of... I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I could not get into the respin. But like Heroes, I was like...
Save the cheerleader. Save the world.
It was just all of the... I think that was like the first time like you had different like viewpoints of the same stuff happening all over the time.
Yeah.
Except for your PBS special, whatever. No one watched it, so you can't really get
PBS Frontline documentary, watch it. It's great.
And... who doesn't like a world with gifts and abilities?
Yeah. Well, we're consuming that constantly now, but it was new. The idea of that adults would want to watch that was new when Heroes came out.
Yeah, it's like people... And my favorite was just... Oh, I'm going to walk by you. I'm going to absorb your power. I'm going to absorb your power.
Yeah.
And then he lost his power at the end. Like, what the...
Well,
he lost his power to absorb power. It doesn't make sense.
And this is happening at the same time as Lost. I think this was just an era of TV where they didn't think anything would last, so they didn't make plans. Because Heroes falls apart too. They don't have a plot.
Like after the third season, I want to say like it kind of goes, but it just the idea of just being like, oh, I can stop time. I can time travel. I can fly.
Yeah. So watching him figure it out was fun.
Or I'm like the Ice Queen, or the kid can talk to computers. Like,
yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a great little sci-fi.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I would have completely flown by Heroes.
Well, as you can see from my list, I kind of have a genre I stick to that I watch a lot.
So I think my next honorable mention is something that you also enjoyed, which is Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Did you know? Well, now you know.
Now you know, because science rules. Bill Nye introduced me to a lot of concepts that I still don't really understand, but I love that I'm trying to understand them.
And, it was just, he made science seem
it was
cool and fun.
Yeah, it wasn't like a book. You weren't reading a book. You were seeing things. He would do demonstrations, show you in real life what, the kids would do things for you. And there was a level of enthusiasm and a silliness about him as a person.
It's like he was a clown.
Yeah.
But in a doctor's coat.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
He was the kind of teacher you would love to have. Like, anybody would love to have Bill Nye.
But every principal would want to fire him.
Right. He would be fired. But he's like Walter White, but yeah, he's fired for a different reason.
Yeah.
And then I want to do my honorable mention here is a combo. So The Daily Show and The Colbert Report. During the Bush administration, that
got you through life, huh?
This is what Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert got me through George W. Bush, 8 years of George W. Bush. That show was awesome during that time. Nobody else was holding that asshole accountable to anything. And he would just slay him. Yeah. He would slay George W. Bush.
But he was really just the vice president running everything.
Yeah, he was. We've seen the movie. It's a terrific movie, and probably the scariest movie I've seen in a long time. To think that that's what was going on.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what was going on.
Clearly that was.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush should have won an Oscar because he's amazing as George W. Bush. But if I didn't have Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, I would have tried to murder the president. Probably. Those guys got me through it.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, he's not the president anymore.
He's still the president. He's president for life.
Okay, well then I wouldn't murder anybody.
They are considered president.
Okay. Nobody that's not currently residing in Arkansas.
Archimedeans.
Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert. That's my last honorable mention.
All right. Well, I will just hop right into number 3.
Let's get into 3.
Is Stargate SG-1.
Okay. Interesting choice.
I watched every episode of all 10 seasons, every spinoff of Stargate Atlantis, even Stargate Universe, which was really good, but it had no direction.
Yeah.
It was just a great idea. And then they were like, oh, we have to come up with a second season? We don't know what we're doing!
I have no idea what the show's about, but I have seen Stargate the movie, so tell me. Pitch it.
It starts 1 year after.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's 1 year after they leave. They decide to go back or whatever. It might not be 1 year. It could be 5. I don't know. But MacGyver comes in as Colonel O'Neill. Mm-hmm. I don't know the actor's name.
MacGyver's good enough. I knew exactly who you were talking about.
Yeah. Gets a team together. There's apparently only 4 people per team, which I guess originally started off as it's 4. I don't understand the whole team of 4. You're going to a strange planet and there's only.
We don't have enough people to play basketball. Let's get it together. Maybe it's an amount of mass that they could bring.
No, because armies go through there.
Yeah, well, they just keep walking.
And then they find out that there's a whole system of Stargates, and they want to explore them because when they go back to
Egypt land,
desert planet, which I can think of the name, but whatever, where Daniel Jackson is.
Yeah.
If he figures out that oh no, after you these are all the star places, and then Samantha Carter, she's the nerd, the science nerd.
Yeah.
Figures out, oh well, after you just come up with space time because it's continuously expanding. So once you configure for that, it's just 6 points, and then the 7th is where your original pointing to.
Yeah.
So it's about an alien race Goa'uld that just
conquerors,
rulers. I think they're more rulers. They just want to be Egyptian gods. And there's even a few aspects of Roman gods and stuff. But they're not in there very, very long. And then it goes on and on about different galaxies, and then
is this
this is sci-fi. Definitely sci-fi.
Not fantasy, it's sci-fi.
What's the difference?
Game of Thrones would be fantasy. Star Trek would be sci-fi.
Just because there's science involved?
Kind of, yeah. Lord of the Rings, fantasy.
No, I get that, but isn't it all... Well, I guess because...
There's no science in Game of Thrones. It's magic.
Yeah, I guess. Well, magic is just science you haven't figured out yet.
Oh, Lord. Okay, Einstein.
Yeah. Anyway, it's sci-fi, definitely.
Yeah,
it's not magic. It's just the goal to have higher technology that not advanced enough people think is magic.
Would think of it as magic, right? If I went back and called you on a phone, people would,
they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
magic.
But
yeah, I just totally liked it. Yeah,
probably
way more than I should.
Yeah, I don't know why I never got into it. I guess I missed it. And then never went back, I guess. Because I loved the movie Stargate. It's great.
I don't know. Well, if I was judging, I wouldn't. The concept is great.
Yeah.
The movie is meh.
No, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. No? Okay. Kurt Russell? Alright.
Your number 3.
My number 3 is Saturday Night.
Well, number 4.
Okay. I'm on 3. I've already done 4.
We started at 11.
I know.
Your 10 was 11.
I know. Look. I don't know. That's my next one I'm doing.
So how are you so far ahead?
I don't know.
We were trying to keep a secret from you guys, but you
probably
heard it.
Go with your number 3.
Your honorable mention.
Is my honorable mention The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
Good. Let's talk about The Walking Dead. That's good.
Who doesn't think or fantasize or have nightmares about an apocalypse?
Yeah.
Like, zombie movies were like the rage in all of the early 2000s.
Yes. Almost every movie started a zombie version.
TV show, like some zombie like reference, or like it was just crazy.
Yeah.
But I think The Walking Dead is the pinnacle of all zombie movies or shows.
Yes.
The like storylines, the characters, the acting, the makeup effects like
are incredible.
Yeah.
They kept outdoing themselves, which is hard to do. The show is about why it is that we build civilization. So they start with nothing. But in order to create lives for themselves, they have to build civilization again.
Well, I think it's they have to build safety.
Yeah.
Like you have to have certain things before you can...
Yeah, you need to have that. The reason why we need each other. Because you could go off into the land and have a samurai sword and you'll do pretty well for a while. But
eventually you have to fall asleep.
Yeah. You need to have other people around you. And I don't think in our lives, our technologically advanced lives, we think that we need people as much as we really do. The Walking Dead is, let's flatten everything. What's important now? Well, we need to build a society. We need a culture. We need other people.
It's because as humans, like in the animal kingdom, we're not very good.
No.
We're pretty low. We get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
We're pretty shitty babies.
Yeah.
Like, can't even walk for like the first 2 years of your life.
Yeah.
Most babies are walking in 2 minutes, so they're dead.
I mean, how old do you have to be to defend yourself? I could run
14.
I could run to a 12-year-old pretty easily.
Like 12 is probably like the minimum of like some sort of defense. Like puberty, I would say. Look, right around puberty.
There's a black belt 11-year-old right now that could kick my ass. Just a little bigger than the normal 11-year-old. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, we're a pretty weak species compared to a lion, a tiger.
How about just a dog?
A dog. Yeah.
Like your lab would probably
wreck you. Yeah, it would wreck you.
Maybe not mine because he's a sweetheart, but
the sweetest dog ever. But if he wanted to, he's a big dog. He's got some weight to him.
Yeah.
He could do some damage. He could cooch you.
You can go for the jugular.
Yeah.
And it's just...
And the dynamics between the characters, you see the characters kind of grow. The Rick journey.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I haven't watched season...
I stopped.
7? Like, right when Negan and then, I guess, went to war. Like, once they kind of freed themselves, I don't know. Like, that's weird.
Yeah,
like,
it got weird again.
I think I saw a season of Negan, and then I stopped because I think I want to just watch it all. Just
all the way through. Yeah. The Glenn death. The Glenn death's tough.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a tough one. Baseball batted.
I think that was a victim of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think so too. They needed to up the ante. But shit.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
They put it all out there.
Yeah.
God. Like, I'm pretty sure he would still be alive if it wasn't for Game of Thrones.
The other thing they do in the show is characters keep hooking up. Like, there's a lot of romance going on.
Well, there's a lot less prospects.
No, I agree.
Fish in the sea.
I just don't know if I'm thinking about that most of the time. I'm sure as soon as you get warm, you've got your belly full. Now I'll think.
There's a wall around where you're sleeping.
Right.
You're like, all right.
But in the beginning of the show, spoiler alert.
Well, I guess Glenn and
Jessica sounds right, but no.
Whatever her name is.
Glenn and her.
They were the first hookup.
Yeah.
Post. Well, I guess Rick's partner was trying to get with his wife.
Yeah. No, they were together.
They were hooking up.
Yeah.
Until Rick came back.
Until Rick came back, right.
Huh.
They were definitely banging. So her character's name is Maggie.
Maggie. What the fuck did we get Jessica from?
I don't know.
We suck at this, apparently, guys.
We do. We suck at names. This should be established.
But, yeah, just... Why? I don't know. I can't imagine, like, just hooking up and zombie coming in.
So it's just... Yeah, a lot more than I would have expected in the zombie apocalypse.
But I guess the writers realized that the girls need something to watch, too.
Yeah, that's true. Rick goes from being a regular cop to being the most badass killer in the history of badass killers. There's nobody that can get between Rick and what he needs to get done.
No, there isn't.
And he works his little team up into a badass fighting squad where they've got each other's backs, they're clearing rooms, and that happens pretty quick. They become an assault, like a special ops assault team pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's just a great show.
Yeah, it is a great show. The family dynamic, the idea of rebuilding civilization, what's important, what do we need? If we lost everything, what
type of people do we need?
Yeah, what type of people do we need? Absolutely. Great show.
Which is weird. I think times like that need a dictator. They need someone in charge.
A lot of times Rick is forcing people to do things. Yes, there's a lot of that.
The rebuilding or building of a civilization, I think you need that. You need that authority figure making...
Yeah. Well, they split off a lot. I mean, there's a lot of times where, especially in the beginning...
Which is maybe why we just inhabit everywhere. It's because we're like, I'm tired of this shit. Let's move on.
Smart, yeah. That might actually be it. But we're running out of Earth, so unless we're going to start pushing
Antarctica, here we come.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's cold there. No.
That's your 3. My 3 now is Saturday Night Live. 44 seasons of Saturday Night Live.
That is a long time.
That's an institution. I think we can call it an institution.
Yeah, so that's what, 52 episodes a year? Is there weeks they take off?
Yeah. They have 2 seasons. They have a fall season and a spring season. Most of the summer is reruns. So it's the comedy pipeline. If you're an American who's kind of funny...
You've been on that show at least once.
Right. All of your favorite people are probably from SNL. Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, Kate McKinnon recently. You've got...
Baldwin.
You've got...
Chevy Chase.
Chris Rock, David Spade, Chris Farley, Mike Myers. If there's a person that said a funny thing, they've probably been on SNL. Eddie Murphy.
Have a lot of the stand-up comedy, like, now, like, what's the Indian guy's name? Aziz
Ansari, yes. No.
Has he been on there? No.
He's hosted.
So that's the same thing.
Yeah, stand-up's a different thing from... This is SNL's more of a comedy writing or an improv thing. A lot of improv people.
Yeah, but like funny people are still funny people.
Yeah.
Like,
stand-up is a different discipline of funny.
It's like guys from where they just do improv, like with Drew Carey.
Yeah.
He's the host. What's it called?
Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah. Have they been on Saturday Night Live?
I don't think so. Maybe Drew Carey back when he had a television show, but no, I don't think so. It's a very particular kind of comedy in that it's sketches, so there's a performance element to it.
Yeah.
You need to be able to sing. You need to be able to do a lot of different things.
Or at least make your singing sound somewhat funny, appealing, whatever.
Right. There's a show busy kind of aspect to being... They're called players.
Yeah, but all of those characters are like the same type of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Jim Carreys, the Michael Myers, the Chevy Chases.
So character is a big part of SNL. They create a character, and it goes like Mike Myers has a bunch of them. Wayne and Garth, what's that? Wayne's World.
Yeah.
You've got Will Ferrell, the cheerleaders. You've got, creating a character was the way to break on SNL for a very long time. And just recently, Andy Samberg, the digital shorts, that's a new thing that SNL just started with him. Those were incredible. Dick in a Box, all of those were...
Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
He's actually really good.
He's an amazing SNL host. That's the other thing SNL does, is it shows you the actors that are dicks, because they don't come back. They don't want them back. Like Tom Hanks has been on the show a million times, Alec Baldwin a million times. The people who do well on SNL are the kind of actors everybody gets along with.
Yeah. And like, what was it? I think it was Justin Timberlake when he did his like 10th hosting or whatever. He became like, he went to the green room with like all the other, they had all the other people that hosted it like 10 times, like Alec Baldwin,
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, and there was like 3 or 4 other people that,
and
you're like, welcome to the club.
Yep. And it's comedy royalty. SNL, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray. Come on, Gilda Radner. Almost everybody who's been anything to American comedy has either hosted or been on the cast. It's the pipeline. If you want to know comedy
or something,
and I still watch it. I can't say that about some of these shows, but I watch SNL every week. It's one of the things I want to hear the model. I want to hear the cold open. I want to see how they take the thing in the news, how they take it down. And Weekend Update, my favorite segment, is because of Tina Fey. Tina Fey made Weekend Update a completely new, awesome thing where it's basically a joke writing.
So you really like Tina Fey?
I'm a huge Tina Fey fan. I may have a gigantic
crush
on Tina Fey. She's smart and pretty and all right. That's my number 2 or 3. That's my number 3.
Can we just, of boy bands, Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
He is a phenomenal person.
Yeah, nobody else is doing any. He a Backstreet Boy who's got a movie career. JC Chavez, not really getting it done. New Kids on the Block, not really seeing that.
I guess there was the Britney Spears and I don't know, the guy from 98 Degrees.
Yeah.
And they had a little MTV thing, but like...
Timberlake's talented.
And what is he on, Jimmy Fallon show? Like, those two were phenomenal together.
Yeah.
I'm just segueing from, like, because I just think he's a funny,
so do I,
multi-talented person.
It pisses me off how much I like him. Because I shouldn't like him.
Could you imagine, like, your 13-year-old self talking to you now being like, you little bitch,
sell out motherfucker. Yeah, I would have definitely.
I was like, oh yeah? Well, just watch this one lip sync battle with Jimmy Fallon. And
he's dressed like a whatever doing the dance. Yeah, he's incredible on SNL and Jimmy Fallon show. He's actually probably a decent human being. That's why it comes through. Like,
he's just one of those. He's like those likable characters.
Yeah,
but he's not a character. He's a person.
He's a real person, maybe. I think so. I don't think you would get invited back unless they liked you, and he gets invited back. He gets his show every season. He's got one every season, and I agree with it. Yeah. I want him to have 2. I don't care.
Can we get 2? Can we have him like just a regular?
You don't need to be the music guest too. Let somebody else be the music guest. But you're funny just being. Yeah. You can sing during the monologue. I don't want you to be the musical guest. Other than that, every week he should be a cast member. That's my number 2.
All right, number 1, huh? Well, number 2. My number 2.
Yeah, get your number 2.
So that was your number 2, huh? My number 2 is much different.
No, that was my number 3. Sorry, this is your number 2.
God,
because we have the same number 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. My number 2, much different,
Mm-hmm.
but very similar to my number 3. How it's kind of rebuilding civilization.
Okay.
It's Battlestar Galactica.
Okay. Battlestar
Galactica.
You have a very science fiction edge to your list.
I like to use my imagination, very that skewed direction.
The Battlestar Galactica storyline, though, is fascinating. It's a fascinating storyline. Explain.
I think the whole storyline, I guess, starting from the very end, you realize that this is a cycle that happens. It's happened over and over and over again. Because apparently, I guess, there's 2 Cylon characters that are...
What's a Cylon?
Explain. Well, it's a robot.
Yes, but indistinguishable from regular human being.
Yeah, except for when they're in some radiation cloud thing in the very beginning that they find out that they never use again.
Yeah, you start the show not knowing. You start the show not knowing.
Well, the whole show you can't tell the difference, but where civilization, I guess, eventually hits the what's the breaking point? No, where everything starts advancing so much faster.
Right.
It's called a point, but there's a name to it. But then eventually AI becomes a thing. At first, AI helps human beings, and then at some point, AI wipes out the human beings. But I guess it never completely wipes them out because they always win and escape.
Yeah.
It starts on Earth or the 7 planets of Caprica or whatever.
Yeah.
But it always ends with the Cylons killing the human race enough to where, like, then...
They start over. The Matrix idea, right? You allow it to advance to a certain point, then you kill off most of them, and then they rebuild.
But I guess it's just a cycle of repetitive.
Yeah.
To where, like, you inventions kill you off, and then you just say, fuck that shit, I'm going to start from scratch over here.
Yeah.
And it's just a cycle over and over again, but in between all of that...
Lots going on.
Starbuck. Oh my God, Starbuck.
Yeah. And the premise of it
being in space and just always avoiding like a race that just clones itself. They can't die, so like their experiences are never lost. It's just recycled back into the same person over and over again. So
you can't trust anybody. You don't know. I mean, that element.
Well, the first 2 seasons, or 3 seasons. It's probably just the first 2. They don't know about the Hidden 6, which are. But spoiler alert! Sorry.
Yeah.
There are 6 Cylon models that are one of them are living with the humans, but they don't know that they're Cylons. But they're Cylons. But then they're somehow randomly triggered to do certain things. It's very strange. It's very nice.
It's a great show. It's very smartly written. I think it's one of those shows where even if I've seen the previous version of it, I'll watch it again. Like if they remake it tomorrow with the same plot lines, I'm going to watch it again. Yeah. It's just something that hits.
However, Caprica, which was a spin-off of it,
I didn't watch.
If you're bored and you've literally watched everything else, go ahead, check it out. But it's nothing to write home about.
The early Battlestar Galactica, I should say this is a little hard to watch because of the effects.
Yeah, it was
bad.
Yeah.
But the latest version is...
I think it was like 2001, 2006. It's only 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Which, God. One of those things that I wish...
They could probably do more. Yeah.
I think they could have seriously gotten like 2 more good solid seasons out of it.
Yeah.
Because when you're talking about the vastness of space running from a endless...
Yeah, in an infinite cycle that continues forever. Yeah, you can probably add 2 more seasons onto that.
Yeah, just saying.
But it's a solid watch. I agree with that choice. That's your number 2.
That is my number 2.
My number 2, which we kind of started with The Simpsons, but...
You're Simpsons going somewhere else with the
next. I'm going somewhere else. So The Simpsons started, Family Guy's the next step, and then we get the best satire on television, South Park.
Wasn't South Park before Family Guy?
They might have been around the same time. I'm thinking of the original time Family Guy was released, not the re-release after the Adult Swim happened. If you're looking at it chronologically, go ahead and look that up. That's fine. So let's talk about South Park for a second. It's the smartest satire on TV. The guys have the most gigantic balls. They take over. They'll take on anything. They don't care. The limits of the show, at first everyone said it's such shitty animation. It's basically construction paper put together. They took that and they said, yeah, so we can
That's not the point of it, though.
I can make it in a day. So now I'll respond to the things in the news in real time. That's something The Simpsons can't do. They're the only show that's making you a 30-minute satire the day before they put it on the air. And it creates incredible television. Just a couple of things that they've taken on. So they did a First Amendment series.
2 years later.
2 years later, okay. They did a First Amendment series where...
Family Guy was 2 years later.
Then South Park started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got one.
You got one. Okay. So the First Amendment thing. They got bomb threats because they were going to show Muhammad, a cartoon character version of Muhammad, on their show, which is against the Quran.
Very,
very, very bad. Very wrong. So there were bomb threats into Comedy Central. They said, this is a First Amendment thing. We don't have this issue in our country, so we're just going to show Muhammad on TV.
Yep.
And then they said, well, we'll bomb every or television station, local, whatever. When they started putting other people's lives at risk, the guy said, okay, so this is what they did. They put Muhammad in a box. So you don't see Muhammad. You hear a voice through the box. Hi, I'm Muhammad. That's what they did. It's brilliant. It gets around the jihad, and they can make their point about the First Amendment, which is, if you allow anybody to limit this, it's not free anymore. If you allow one little niche into this, it's not what it was supposed to be.
Which maybe more people should watch that episode of South Park today. Just saying, just go watch it.
Yeah, it's an important point, and they're the only ones willing to make it. Everybody else will run away from this. They're going to put Muhammad in a box. They're not going to rewrite the show. We're going to say what we wanted to say, and it's even going to be funnier because you made us change it. He's talking through the trunk of a car, the box. Like, you never see him, but he's in the show. Brilliant. They attacked Catholic priests back when that thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
They went directly at that. They've taken on the idea that ads are infiltrating every element of our world.
Oh, PC Principle.
PC Principle. These guys are
Hey,
fearless.
that triggers me. Asking me about my triggers me.
Yeah.
Bro.
Brah. Butters. Cartman is maybe the funniest character I've seen on television, just because the level of evil is unmatched. Yeah. There's no guilt. He's totally about himself.
I mean, doesn't he have a romantic relationship with the devil?
Yes, he does. So does Saddam Hussein. These guys will go anywhere. If you need that in comedy, and we don't really have that much. The Black Friday trilogy is terrific, where there's a riot because things are half off in the mall, and they do a Lord of the Rings thing where it's the Night's Watch along the wall. It's just a brilliant show. If you don't know what South Park is, you need to know. It's the best satire on TV.
I should probably watch it more than I do.
It's the smartest show on TV. Matt Stone and Trey Parker are the smartest guys on TV. I can't suggest this show enough.
Are they the smartest, or is their network most liberal?
No, they have conservative takes on things. You're getting these.
No, I mean,
wrong.
yeah. Their network allows them to do the things that they actually want to do.
Yes. They basically run Comedy Central.
Liberal as in, like, they give them liberties.
Right.
Of what they do.
I get what you're saying. What you meant. Yeah. What else does Comedy Central have?
Nothing.
So they're basically
their platform is South Park.
They're running the show. South Park's on Comedy Central every day. So
yeah, because I guess maybe like some like Last Comic Standing and stuff like that. Maybe, but like
Comedy Central presents those kind of shows. Daily Show's still on. I don't watch it anymore.
No.
I have nothing against it. It's not a part of my routine.
It's not in your...
Trevor Noah is funny. He's funny.
Religion.
He's not Jon Stewart funny, but he's funny. I've seen a few shows where he had some interesting things to say, but it's not South Park. South Park will flick off Muhammad. Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
They're willing to say what they mean.
Well, and most of the things they say needs to be said.
Yes, almost all of them. And even if you don't agree with them, it's going to be a perspective you hadn't considered.
Because there's someone that does agree with them.
Yes. Most likely me. But not all the time. They're truth tellers, and that's rare. So that's my number 2.
Number 2, my number 2. And number 1.
What's number 1?
Well, come back next week and find out.
You'll find out what number 1 is.
Because the whole episode is going to be talking about number 1.
Number 1 television series, without a doubt. We didn't even have to talk about it. We both knew what we were going to say.
We just knew what it was, and we left it off.
And you do too, but maybe not next week.
I think it might have been alluded to like
a few thousand
12 times.
Yeah. That was a terrific... Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I can't wait for that one. And it's coming out again soon, so... Next week.
The 7th, so 14th, I think it airs, the 14th.
The 14th.
Yeah.
Number 1.
And the episode will be out before then.